Story Corner Special Edition, presented by Jennifer. Ball Drop Blackout, a New Year's Mystery. The paper's headline screamed, "Millions Stolen from Now, Campbell, and Swan During New Year's Eve Power Outage." In the middle of a brief city-wide power outage the moment the ball dropped, the city's most prestigious law firm had been robbed. The police knew that only a skilled thief could pull it off, one who not only knew the work habits of the employees, but who also was familiar with the building's layout and security system. This was going to be a tough case for sure, but Angela Chu, the department's newly promoted detective, was confident she was up to the job. Arriving on the scene, she mentally reviewed the details of the case. At the time of the theft, there had been just 2 people in the building. One partner, Kirk Neal, and the firm's longtime security guard, Zach Calvert. She would interview Kirk first. He, his 2 partners, and the security guard were in an upstairs office. "I was working on the books last night in my office, just down the hall," Neal began shakily. "I had a lot of paperwork to get in order for our first of the year finance meeting. I finished up and was preparing to leave when the lights went out. I called for Zach, but he wasn't at his station. At that point, I became alarmed. Zach had been with us for decades, and, well, he's not a young man anymore. So I took the elevator down to the parking garage." Neal's lip curled into a sneer. He was passed out on the bench, drunk. "Our guard." What did you do?" the detective asked. "I left him there," Neal said. "He was in no state to help with anything." Next, she questioned Lincoln Campbell, another partner. "My partner, Paul Swan, and I spent the whole day with our families. We ended up at the same New Year's Eve party, too." "And after that?" the detective asked. "I went home, and I believe Paul did, too." After making this statement, he motioned Detective Chu into the hallway, where he confided, "To be honest, Kirk's recent behavior has really concerned me. I'm sure you've heard about his large private art collection." When she nodded, Campbell went on. "He's been scrambling to come up with the cash for a painting he wants. Greed and obsession can do strange things to people." Angela Chu smiled thinly. Campbell was attempting to divert suspicion away from himself by pointing the finger of blame at someone else. His longtime partner, no less. When the detective interviewed Paul Swan, he steered the subject away from his 3rd divorce and hefty annulment payments by revealing Campbell's gambling issues. Thanks to some recent losses he thinks no one knows about, Lincoln's skating on very thin ice right now. Paul Swan also confirmed that what Detective Chu already assumed. The firm was insured to the hilt. Finally, Angela questioned the security guard, Zach Calvert. The gray-haired man stood off by himself, looking uncomfortable. I nipped out during my break earlier to meet some friends at the bar and had a few too many, he admitted. I was sleeping it off on the bench in the parking garage. Questioned about the new security system, Calvert disclosed that Paul Swan had supervised the installment and had annoyed the technician with his questions. Detective Chu closed her notes and strode over to the thief to read him his rights. Kirk, he said when the lights went out, he searched for Culver, then taken the elevator to the basement. How could he have when the building had no power? In fact, Kurt had taken advantage of the blackouts to rob the business.